Jason Palliser here with the 2-Day Investment Blueprint. This section is about pulling comps and determining ARV, after repair value. Depending on whether you're getting started or whether you're a seasoned investor, everybody always worries about the after repair value. So a few things. Inside the blueprint here, in the digital blueprint section, we have several places that you can just use the links that we've provided for you to run comps, and they're pretty accurate, right? But some tips. Always try and be conservative. So whatever you think that ARV might be, knock it down 5 or 10% just to try and play it conservative, because obviously you don't want to overestimate and look at something and turn it into a deal when it's really not a deal, right? But here are a few tips as well. If the area has lots of properties and it's not a rural area, the rule of thumb when an appraiser has to appraise a property for a bank is that the bank wants to see sold homes or comparables, what we call comps, sold comps, that are 0.25 miles away from your subject property or less, okay? They can go up to a mile away, but most banks want to see if it's a heavily populated area where there should be plenty of sold homes, 0.25 miles or less, okay? So that's one thing that I would tell you. You can go out to a half a mile, and I don't think anybody's really gonna cause too much of an issue if you're using those counts. But once you start to get up to a mile, especially go over a mile away, that's when people all of a sudden start to discount what you think the value is. So we want everybody in the marketplace to know that, or get the feeling that you're running good comps on property that you may unload. And obviously you're just estimating yourself to make sure you're locking up a good deal. Again, we're teaching you to write contracts and give you plenty of time to have realtors pull comps. So if you don't have access to the MLS, which is obviously the best place to pull comps, we've got some resources here that are pretty accurate. But whatever number you come up with, I always say to knock it down 5 or 10%. But stay within a quarter mile to start out with if you can, then go to a half a mile. Once you start going out further than that, that's when really I would lean on somebody that can get you MLS comps, or if you can create a relationship with an appraiser that can just do a quick check for you. Square footage. You want square footage. If your house is 1,200 square feet, you want to look at comps that are 900 square feet all the way up to 1,500, 1,600, 1,700 square feet. If yours is 1,200 and you're trying to compare the home to try and find value to everything that's like 2,000 square foot or more, those are substantially bigger houses. Those aren't the best sales comps, okay? So you want to, I always tell everybody, go down 20, 25% roughly and go up 35%, maybe 40, and that's your sweet spot. Any house that has square footage in those ranges might be a good sales comp for you to compare your house to, okay? So those are just a few things. Make sure same bedroom count if you can get it. Again, you can't always get it because not all homes are exact duplicates of each other, right? But same bedroom count for the house that you're considering if you're trying to find that value. So you want to start there. Once you start to wiggle outside of those things, that's where value becomes very subjective, okay? So hopefully this helps you zero in on what you should look for if you're trying to run comps and picking which ones are the best ones, okay? We have some free resources for you if you don't have access to the MLS, but obviously an appraiser in the MLS is always the best place to get your comps, okay? So use these to your advantage and start to get good and practice on coming up with good ARV. Whatever you come up with, talk to a realtor, okay? Talk to an appraiser and see how close you are, right? And start to fine tune that skill set. It's a learned trait, okay? We're just trying to give you some pretty good staples to live by and so that you can find the right value, okay? Get after it.